Greetings, hunters, and welcome back to another episode of Shatterdice Plays The Hunters 1492. And when last we left off, we thought we might have killed the beast, but as we were celebrating, there was a horrible slaughter, and it seems the beast has once again attacked the people of Pensburg. We met up with the Master of Hounds and began tracking the beast. Using his skills and our potion of true sight, we seem to have been able to trace it to some strange small settlement. And unfortunately, the Master of Hounds was caught in a snare trap, and so we've had to continue on alone without him. And that brings us to quest 19A. So here is the setup for quest 19A. We have a Nasicornis up here, who you may remember from one of our much earlier quests, and 2 mutated rats. So the thing to remember with this Nasicornis is he's going to regenerate 2 health at the end of each of his turns, and he has that whopping defense of 5, so he's going to be hard to fight. The mutated rats are very weak, very easy to kill, so we don't need to worry too much about them. And we also have multiple traps on this map, which may help or hinder us depending on how things go. Quest goal. At least half of all heroes remain conscious by the end of round 7. Special rules. 19A. In addition to all 19B rules explained below, this quest is played at night. Okay, so that means our ranged weapons only have a maximum range of 2. But that's okay because our blunderbuss only has a range of 2 anyway. 19B. At the start of each round, beginning with round 3, new enemies appear on the board. Deploy 4 mutated rats on spaces 1 and 2, 2 for 2 heroes. The rats should be deployed as evenly as possible. Okay, so that's 1 in each space. At any time there can be up to 8 rats on the board. If this number would be exceeded, deploy less enemies. Traps. Each miniature entering a space with a trap immediately triggers it. A trap deals melee attack 3 with 2 strength and 2 dice, and it's pierce 2. Each trap can activate once. Okay, so we're in a pretty good position here actually, because it means these 3 traps here should hopefully protect us from the Nasicornis and the mutated rats. So we have picked our 5 starting cards for Friedrich and our 5 starting cards for Wilhelm, and now we just need to shuffle the decks. Okay, so we begin, and the Nasicornis has a perception of 1, so he is going to go first. Okay, so he's more than 1 space away. If he moves 2, he won't be able to attack us, so he's just going to move 1 and gain a defense token. So he moves 1 to there, gains his defense token. Oh, and I will also actually point out that on this map, there is a misprint. There are no starting spaces printed on the map. The errata tells us we can start here and here, so I chose to start here. And then we have the mutated rats, who are perception 0. So we're going to let them go next, and we're going to go last. So 1 plus space away. So he can't move to be in range to attack, so he's going to move 2 towards us. So he's going to go 1, 2, and he's going to step on this trap, which immediately triggers, having 2 strength and rolling 2 dice. That's going to do 3 damage. And he only has 2 health, so he's instantly killed by that trap. And then it's our turn, and we're going to start with Friedrich. So Wilhelm was really badly hurt. So we're going to use these 2 anatomy cards on Wilhelm to heal him 4 damage, putting him up to 6 health. Then it's Wilhelm's turn. Now, we're actually going to wait, I think. Yeah, we're going to wait with Wilhelm. We're not going to spend any of his actions. So that's the end of round 1. So we move on to round 2. And we'll get straight in to the Nasicornis' turn. So the Nasicornis is 1 plus space away. Now, because there's a red border here, I don't think he can cut the corner. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think he has to go around. So, he's going to move 1 to there and trigger that trap. It's a 2 and a 1. So it rolls another die. That's another 2. So that is 3 damage, plus it's 2 strength. So that's 5 damage, and it's pierced 2. So it's got 5 armour. So it's going to do 3 wounds to the Nasicornis. But it's got that shield 1, so it's only going to do 2 wounds to the Nasicornis. And then it completes its move. And it regenerates 2 health at the end of the turn. Or at the end of its turn, should I say. Oh, and I just realised I forgot to draw 2 cards for Friedrich. So there's his cards. Just before the Nasicornis completes its action, before it completes its turn, we're going to use Quick Aid to do an attack 2 as a free action using his blunderbuss. So we roll 4 dice, and it's +1 accuracy. So we roll 4 dice, and we need 3s to hit. Okay, that's a damn good result. So we've got 5, plus his dexterity of 2, so that's 7. And it's pierce 1, and it's only got 3 armour against ranged attack. So that's 5 damage he does to it straight away. And then we're on to Friedrich's actual turn. And we will be going with Friedrich first because we can use versatility. So it allows us to heal for 3. So he's going to heal Wilhelm for 2, bring up to 8 health. Then we get to move or parting leap for 2. We can't really force it to move into either of these traps, unfortunately. So actually he's not going to move, he's just going to stay there. But then he's going to use his interact to reload his blunderbuss. And then he is just going to use another anatomy card on himself to heal himself back up to 7 health, so he is on full health too. And then it's Wilhelm's turn. We really want it to be in the same space as us. So Wilhelm is just going to wait again, he's just going to bide his time. So that's the end of the round, and we draw 3 cards for Friedrich. And move on to round 3. Oh! I completely forgot about this this mutated rat over here. So he should have moved 2. And then he should move 2 again. And then we spawn 2 more mutated rats. 1 at space 1 and 1 at space 2. Okay, and now we begin round 3. So the Nasicornis will go first again. This time it's 1 space away, so it's going to move 2, choose the furthest target. Well, they're both in the same place. Oof. Okay, it's going to do an attack 3 with pierce 3, break, stun, and push. And we're going to have to take that on Friedrich because we don't have any way. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to take this on Friedrich. So unfortunately, it is going to it is mighty, so it is going to break his armour and push him out of the way and stun him. And it gets 2 3s, so they're both hits. So that's 5 damage. It's going to ignore his armour. But we're going to play this left swing for its reaction and cancel 1 damage suffered by Friedrich. So he's only going to take 4 damage. So unfortunately he's stunned. And he's pushed away 1 space. So we can't use Friedrich. We're going to let the rats go first. So they're 1+ space away, so they're just going to move 1 So he'll move to there, he'll move to there, and he'll move to there. Oh, and the Nasa Cornice heals 2 damage at the end of its turn. So it's down to 3 damage. So we're going to use Flurry of Blows. So our first attack 2, got +1 accuracy, so it's going to hit on 3s. So we get 2 2s and a 4, plus his strength is 3. Unfortunately, it has 4 armour, so that's no good to us. So our second attack, same again. This time we get a 1, and another 1, and a 3. So that is 3 hits plus the 1. It's still not enough to hurt it. So unfortunately, Wilhelm didn't do anything that turn. So that is the end of the turn. Friedrich is no longer stunned. And we need to draw 1 card for Wilhelm and 1 card for Friedrich. Okay, so round 4 and 2 more rats spawn. So the Nasa Cornice will go first again. So it's going to do an attack 3 with Pierce 2 against Wilhelm. Now it's going to roll 3 dice and add 3 because his wooden shield converts one of its strength points to a die. Oh, and it gets 2 1s and then 4 and a 3. So these 2 are misses, but it does 6 damage. So it's Pierce 2, and he's got a total of 5 armour, so he takes 3 wounds from it, dropping him to 5 health. And then the Nasa Cornice heals 2 damage again. And now we have the choice to let the rats go first or to let Friedrich go first. So we're going to let the rats go first. So we need to shuffle their deck. And they all move 1 space. Yeah. I think we're going to use Answering the Call. Now, there's a good chance we'll hurt Wilhelm with this, but he has a lot of armour, so hopefully we'll be okay. So it's an attack 2, but it's +1 accuracy for the blunderbuss, and he's going to roll 4 dice. Ooh, that's a pretty good result. So we get 2 1s and a 2, and that 5 is a miss. So we add 2 dice. 2 6s. So we add his 2 agility, so he has 5 hits. It's Pierce 1. And the Nasa Cornice has 3 armour against ranged attacks. So it's going to be 2 armour. So it's going to do 3 wounds to the Nasa Cornice. Oh, it would have healed, wouldn't it? It would have healed all its damage. Oh no, no. It would have had one on it still. And then he's going to use Move or Parting Leap of 1 to move into this space. And then he will use his Stimulant. Or he would have used this first, I suppose. Oh, I really should have used those first, shouldn't I? Oh well. So we're going to get +1 to our accuracy. And then it is Wilhelm's turn. So Wilhelm is now going to do this massive attack he's been waiting to do. So he's going to do his Blade Dance, and he's going to add 3 copies of Protecting the Group, which turns this into a whopping 9 dice attack. And he gets +2 to his accuracy. 1 for his sword, 1 for the stimulants. So he's going to be hitting on 5s. So that one misses. We'll get 5 hits from the first 6 dice. And then the other 3, that would have been a 4 or a 5, so it would definitely have been a hit. So how many have missed? 2 have missed. We've got 7 so far, and then for that 1, we get a 6. So that's 7, putting it on a total of 11 damage. And then all we've got left is quick blows. So we're going to use that for an attack 3, but it's going to become an attack 5. So we're going to roll 3 dice, and we are hitting on 5s. And we get 2 1s and a 4, so we add 2 dice to that. So that's another good result. That's 6, it's pierce 1, so we do 2 more damage to the Nasicornis. And then that's the end of that turn. So 2 more rats spawn. And we need to draw 5 cards. And 2 for Friedrich. And once again, the Nasicornis goes first. Right, so it's going to do an attack 2. It's going to affect everyone. And it is going to be pierce 2, which isn't good. So Wilhelm's shield would convert one of its hits to a die, but it would be targeting Friedrich, and then everybody else would be being affected by it. So, like we did with the veteran bandits before, I don't think his wooden shield is going to have any effect. So it rolls 2 dice and adds 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to use Wilhelm's pummel, so that when it attacks us, after its attack, it's going to be stunned. So it rolls a 1 and it rolls a 3. But its attack was 2, so it only gets 1 hit. Plus the 4 for its strength, so that's 5, and it's pierce 2. So unfortunately that's going to drop Friedrich to 0 health and knock him out. And then Wilhelm is going to block 3 points of damage from that. So Wilhelm will take 2 points of damage, dropping him to 3 health. And then it becomes stunned. But I think its heal still takes place. Okay, then we've got the rats or Wilhelm. So we'll go with Wilhelm first. So the first thing Wilhelm will do is use his powerful strike for an attack of 5. And we get 3 hits, plus our 1 strength is 4, and it's pierce 1. So this shouldn't do any damage, but what we're going to do is use 2 of our morale to add 1 for each morale we spend to our strength. So it actually becomes 6, so it will do 2 damage to the Nasicornis. And then we are going to use Draw Attention. It's just an attack 2. Which doesn't hit with anything, unfortunately. And then the rats will go. So they're 1 plus space away, so... all of these other rats will move 2. And then this one will move into here, and it will attack Wilhelm. And it rolls 1 die and adds 1 to the result. But it can't actually penetrate his armour, which means its poison doesn't take effect. It has to do damage to be able to poison us. So we move on to round 6. And 2 more rats spawn, but we've only got 1 left, so he appears there. And the Nasicornis is stunned. So it misses its turn. But I think it still heals 2 damage. Oh, and we need to draw 3 cards for Wilhelm. Oh, this is a tough one. I really wish we could have equipped our monster grease. But never mind. We can't kill this Nasicornis, I don't think. I've got to do 9 damage to it, and I just don't have the attacks. And it's probably going to chase us down as well. The rats are nothing to worry about. So I'm just going to have to try and weather the storm. So what we're going to do is use Draw Attention for an attack 2 and hope for a good roll. We get a 5, a 2 and a 1. And a 4. So unfortunately that's going to do nothing to it. Oh, but we can use our Precise Blow reaction, which lets us re-roll 1 die. So we'll re-roll this 5. It's still nothing. And then with our second action, we can't revive Friedrich, unfortunately. So we're going to have to go on to round 7. So we draw 3 cards for Wilhelm. So we're on to round 7. And I can't spawn any more rats. So it's just going to be straight onto the Nasocornis' turn. It's going to attack 2, it's Mighty, and it's Pierce. So as Friedrich is down, we are going to convert one of its strength to a dice roll. So it rolls 3 dice and adds 3. So that's a miss, and that's a miss. So that's 3 misses. So it adds its strength of 3. And then it has Pierce 2, which leaves Wilhelm with 3 armour. So fortunately Wilhelm blocks all of that damage. And then it's going to heal 2 health. So it goes down to 9 damage. Okay, we may as well let these rats go first. So this first one will do an attack 2. There's no point even rolling it, it literally can't hurt us. So all that's going to happen is they're all going to move towards us. And then it is Wilhelm's turn. So there's no point trying to hurt the Nasocornis. Although Heavy Swing, that might do some damage to it. If only I'd had this card earlier with the Mighty, that would have been really helpful. Okay, we're going to use our Heavy Swing, and we're going to add Mighty. So we get +1 die for each wound on it, so it's got plenty of wounds, but it's only to a maximum of 3, so it's 6 dice. And we're going to be hitting it on 4s, +1 for his longsword, so that's all of them hit. So that's 6 hits, plus another 1. That's also a hit, so that's 7. It's 8 for his morale. It's also Mighty. And it's Pierce 1, so we're going to do 4 damage to it. So what's on 9? So it puts it up to 13. And now our second action, we're going to use Flurry of Blows. So that one does nothing, and the second one, that also does nothing. So that is the end of round 7, and at the end of round 7, as long as half the heroes have survived, we win. And thankfully Wilhelm was able to weather all that damage, so we go on to victory. Each hero gains 4 experience and 1 yarn. Okay, so that puts Friedrich up to 30. And it puts Wilhelm up to 21. And we each gain 1 yarn. And then for each Nasocornis killed, we would gain some monster fur, some monster bones, some leather, but we didn't kill it, so we don't get that. And then we have some more story. Obscure oily liquid oozes from wounds in the monster's carcasses and taints the earth. You survey the area and a few rocky recesses before searching the hut and pen. Signs of the beast's presence defile everything. You make a few charcoal rubbings of claw marks, then set about collecting a few scraps of fur and taking a few samples of scat. This will be a great help in identifying what you're dealing with. The locals certainly evacuated their breeding operation quickly, as if frightened, and these monsters they unleashed, maybe they were trying to slow a full military regiment instead of a few sorry hunters. Still, those monsters, you can't help but wonder what their purpose was. Unsuccessful experiments, fodder for the beast, failed attempts to create it. You can't help but feel this mess has created more questions than it has answered. One thing is certain, however, the beast is no mere creature guided by natural instincts. Someone is behind all this, and this place is your best chance at finding some answers. Among the dirty rags, buckets, and general refuse left behind by the breeders, you find an unusual pendant. It glitters as you hold it up to the light. 2 arrows form a cross against a diamond-shaped figure. Okay, so we have choice A if you have the mark as Peter's friends, 30.01, otherwise 32.01. Okay, so we are Peter's friends, so 30.01. Who could tell you more about the origins of this unique pendant? Perhaps Peter, your employer, might have some insights. He may not seem particularly knowledgeable about such obscure matters, but he is surely capable of finding an expert on any subject. Place S86 face down on location 4. Okay, so here we are back on the world map. Now, we do have this other quest to do in this location, but Friedrich is so beat up, he gets back up with 1 health at the end of a quest where he's knocked out. Wilhelm isn't doing much better, and we have just placed a new card at location 4. And that card is S86, which we need to do between days 26 and 32, ideally. And as we are currently on day 30, we may as well head back to Penzberg and do that. So we're going to move to Penzberg, see if we get a road event, and we do. So as we're moving to Penzberg, it's a level 1 card, so we draw from the bottom of the deck and we find marshes. It's getting dark, yet you're still on the road. You're hastily marching along a forest trail. The carter keeps rushing the horses so that your wagon keeps up with the rest of the group. For some time now, you have seen small lights flickering to the right. It seems that subtle music is coming from that direction, soothing sounds, encouraging you to rest for a while. Oh, and is it really roasting meat that you smell? Or are your senses fooling you? Each hero tests brain too. Okay, so we'll do Friedrich first. And he rolls a 0, but he will use 1 morale plus his 1 brain, so that becomes a 2 and he passes. And then Wilhelm rolls a 1. Now it does say each hero tests brain 2, which I think means it's a group test. So we can actually use Friedrich's morale to help improve that. So Friedrich goes down to 0 morale, and we pass. So if all heroes pass, read option B. These are just tricky will-o-wisps. It's not the first time you encounter them, so you don't follow their light to your doom. Each hero gains 1 experience. That's pretty good, because that puts Wilhelm up to 22 experience, and it puts Friedrich up to 31. So before we go any further, actually, we've got all that experience now. So what we're going to do is we are going to upgrade some of our stats. We're going to use 20 experience from Wilhelm to put his strength back up to level 2, which drops him right down to 2 experience. And then Friedrich is going to use 30 experience to increase his dexterity up to level 3. So I would have liked to increase his brain power back up, but having level 3 in dexterity is going to make his blunderbuss that bit more deadly. Okay, and then we enter Penzberg. and we're going to go straight to location 4. So we have this job here, and then we have this card. So we're going to go see Peter about that pendant, I suppose. How are my favourite hunters? How's the investigation going? Greetings, Peter. We have a problem. We've found a certain pendant, and we need to talk with someone who could tell us as much as they know about this beauty. You take out the pendant and put it on the table. 30.02. Peter takes the pendant and examines it from different angles. Interesting. Truly, these are unusual decorations, but I'm no expert, despite having seen my share of jewellery. Well, it's good that you came to me with this. I once told you that it's good to have a friend in me, and that's the very moment when you can count on my friendship. I have an acquaintance, a holy person who manages the library in the Tegernessi monastery to the east from here. Mention Peter and the rust moors to him. He'll know what you mean. Place S87 face up on map card 11. Okay, so that goes on to map card 11. Now we are on day 31, which means anything we do in town is only going to take us this one day. So we may as well take a look at what this job is. Monastery. Hunters needed. An evil force is present in the monastery. Orphans from our abode keep going missing without a trace. Gods shall rain their blessings upon those bold enough to help, and the monastery shall find a coin or two as well. Sister Bernadette. If you're interested and want to depart, so S92 face up on M11. Okay, cool. So we're going to be going there soon anyway. So we will place S92 on M11. Okay, and now we are done at the Executioner's Inn. The first thing we're going to do is spend 2 ducats to fix Friedrich's armour. Then we really need to heal up. So we're going to move to the medic. So we see if we get a city event. And we don't. So we're going to spend 4 ducats to heal 4 damage from each of us. That puts Wilhelm up to 7. And it puts Friedrich up to 5. And then we may as well head to the Long Market to see what this is. So let's see if we get a city event. And we do. So we take our city event cards and we draw from the bottom. And we have Gutter Snipe. Sires, wait, please. A small gutter snipe runs up to you. Want to earn some? A lot? For a silver penny, I'll tell you about a job. The boy looks at you expectantly, fumbling with his formless cap. You toss him a coin. Speak. What's all this about? B. Go to the cowshed you grew up in, swineherd. You reply and kick him in the butt. C. No, thank you. We're already employed by the Duke. Okay, well, we've got half a ducat to spare. We haven't got a lot of money, but we have got half a ducat. So we'll give him that. And then we'll read A and see if he's got a job for us. A wagon drove into a marsh close to fish ponds by the town walls. People say its owner is nowhere to be seen, but the goods loaded inside are intact. If you hurry, you might get a thing or two before anyone knows. You reach the place on the same day. Unfortunately, you're too late, though the rascal told you the truth. The wagon is being pulled out by a few workhorses, handled by a bunch of lamenting merchants. Discard this card. Ah, that's a shame. Oh, well, it was only half a ducat. Okay, and then we can take a look at this card. So we've got rumours about Zonk. Remember Patrick Zonk, who mustered volunteers to search the forgotten mine by the Red Forest? 2 months have passed since they left. Each and every one of them a born warrior. People say one of them was seen on the high road wandering around and mumbling. People say that the mine holds innumerable riches. So, S36 on map card 18. The reward is whatever we find in the ruins. So, S36 will go there. Okay, then we've still got these 2 cards to do, so we may as well take a look at those as well. So we're going to head up to the Armourer, and we'll see if we get a city event, and we don't. So, S61. Sabine holds up the organ she's received and examines it for a while. Finally, she places it inside a huge jar filled with thick yellowish liquid. Also, this is that Nasicornis, not Nasicornis, this is that Lucanus tongue we got for her earlier. So 42.16. Hunting down a Lucanus is no mean feat. I didn't think you could get this beauty. Choose any trinket you like from my chest. In the meantime, I had to focus on more trivial matters. For some time, a man called Peter, the head of one of the local gangs, has been trying to take over my business. You probably know my trade, which is no secret. Besides brewing all kinds of potions and elixir healing boils, infertility, or blindness, I also concoct other substances, enabling me to finance my research. And those other substances, how to put it, less legal and more harmful. They've caught the interest of my competitor. I won't survive without your help. His thugs have already started ruining my warehouses and killed my messengers. Choose what to gain, protection ring or ring of power. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so I've already got a ring of power on Wilhelm, but a ring of protection, this is going to be perfect for Friedrich, because it's going to give him +1 to his defense. It's going to be -1 to his strength, but he doesn't use his strength anyway. So we're definitely taking that protection ring and giving it to Friedrich. Okay, and then we have a choice. A. We know Peter. He's given us some work in the past. We can arrange a meeting and mediate. Maybe we could work out some solution without drowning the whole district in blood. After you choose this option, you will still be able to switch sides. Okay. B. Sabine will help you deal with Peter and his lackeys. Nowadays, everyone is preoccupied with survival, scheming, and intrigues. No one has means for research and science. It's an honour to offer our help, lady. Or C. We don't get involved in gang wars. You'll need to deal with this problem on your own. However, if you ever need us for another task, we're happy to help. So we actually had this option before from Peter, which resulted in us saying we'd set up a meeting, and that's why we've got S70 on location 1 already. So that looks like that's going to be the conclusion to this this drug war between Peter and Sabine. But we're not going to do that just yet, because it might affect our ability to investigate this pendant over here. So that's what we're going to do next. So I think we're going to leave town for now, and we are going to head to Teganus Abbey. So that's going to take us another day, putting us on to day 32. And we see if we get a road event, and we don't. So we're going to reveal this, and we'll have a look at this later. So, S87. The monastery is well maintained, but for a huge hole in the western wall, patched with a wooden construction of spiked logs, one could think that you've magically returned to the times before the mist. 30.03. You find Brother Elias, the librarian, right next to the monastery gate. He wears a simple robe with the symbol of Sower of Fire. The air beyond the wall carries the scent of herbs, while delicate sun rays warm your skin, piercing through the canopy of old, rustling cherry trees. Brother, we seek your help. Peter sent us and asked us to remind you about the rust moors. How could I forget? Peter constantly reminds me about that old debt, but certain promises were made, and they must be fulfilled, no matter what. So, speak, what brings you here? You show him the pendant, and describe how you found it. The brother goes to the scriptorium, asking you to follow. 32.12. These are popular symbols indeed. Hard to mistake them for anything else. The man goes to an adjacent room. He's quickly back with a thick tome, a little singed, but still readable. He gently browses through the book and finally gestures for you to come closer. One of the illustrations looks almost exactly like your findings. Yes, that's exactly what you're looking for. This symbol is used by a certain group living in a nearby camp. Its members are called Shaneen. I'd be unfair to call them criminals, but they care little for the Duke's laws. They follow their own code and are ruled by the Council of the Three, chosen during a forbidden ritual. It's a hermetic group, unwilling to share its secrets with strangers, but you have no choice. If you're looking for someone bearing its signs, you must speak to its leaders. The monk closes the tome and adds, "We're happy to share our knowledge with the locals, especially in these times of woe, but we also maintain a hospice for the poor. If you wish to support it with a few coins, Sewa shall bless you for this." A. Unfortunately, we have nothing to share, but many thanks for your help. B. We're happy to support the monastery with a small donation. Each hero discards 1 ducat. We will gladly help the monastery in any way we can. Each hero discards 3 ducats. I can't afford to give him any money. We haven't got anything. So we're going to go to 32.13. I understand your difficult situation. Please remember us if you ever have a spare coin. Place S34 face up on M13. Okay, so S34 needs to be done by day 35, so we do kind of need to head there and get that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave this for now. We're going to head back to Penzberg. We do get a road event, so we take our road cards and we draw from the bottom. The keep. You see the grim shape of an old ruined keep on the horizon. The locals call it the Witch Finger, and always steer clear of it just in case. People say that a long time ago, before the mist came, a beautiful maiden had been living there. Her whole family had died fighting demons from the mist. She'd stayed close in the stone fortifications, protecting herself from swarming enemies. She sold her soul to the devil to save her life. No one remembers if she survived, or the demonic powers prevailed. According to the legend, whoever comes under the shadow of the still-standing keep will be cursed with bad luck till the end of their days. Unfortunately, the road passes next to the ruins, winding close to a precipice, so there's no way to avoid the shadows of the cursed keep. A. You wait until the evening so that the shadows of the keep move away from the road and you can resume your journey. Or B. What a bunch of dung. Every shadow is but a shadow. You won't lose the whole day because of it. You go on. Well, I'd like to think it's nonsense, but in games like this, it's probably going to either damage my morale or even worse, take away one of my attributes. So I'm going to lose a day, and we're going to go for option A. You spend a day resting, oiling leather equipment to preserve it, and mending your clothes. At the same time, you watch the shadows slowly disappear beyond the edge of the road, then ready yourselves and go. Common sense above all else. Better not to let some devils guide your arrows when it's time to fight. Plus 1 day. Okay, so it's going to cost us 2 days to reach Penzberg because of that. So we're now on day 34. So we're going to stop off in Penzberg, and because we can do all this in a day, we're going to head straight to location 1 and reveal S70. So, an abandoned tenement house has been chosen for the meeting. It's close to the Duke's residence. Peter and Sabine are sitting around the tables with their most trusted aides. 42.20. Okay, so that is where we are going to leave it as we head into this meeting with Peter and Sabine to see if we can sort out their issues. So once again, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series, and as usual, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all the usual YouTube stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.